Back to World Crisis Radio, rushing ahead. Keep up with all this at Tarpley.net and Webster G. Tarpley Twitter feed. And again, your assigned reading this week, Obama, the Postmodern Coup, Barack H. Obama, the Unauthorized Biography, and Surviving the Cataclysm. Got to master all those three in order to follow what is actually happening. So, Obama-Geddon 2014, the U.S. goes under emergency rule if the austerity targets have not been met. We saw this in some states a year ago or so, right, where we had people in New York State demanding a control board that would take over the government if the parliament, the state assembly, was not voting the kind of austerity that we needed. And this, of course, it's all insane. It's all radically anti-historical. Austerity doesn't work. It claims to reduce deficits. It increases them. Doesn't work. Why go through this again, especially when the first time it was tried in grand style in the 1930s, the result was fascism in Germany and a world war? What's that going to mean here in the U.S.? This is something that should concern really everybody. I forgot to mention that Pelosi, of course, when Obama was doing this negotiation, he was talking to Boehner, the Speaker of the House, and Reid, the Senate Democrats. There was no representative of the Senate Republicans, which you can make out of that what you want, but there's no representative of the House Democrats. How about you, Obama? Are you a Democrat? There's Pelosi, right? Pelosi did everything you wanted for 2 years, and what does she get now? The tragedy, the peripeteia of Pelosi, obvious enough. She says she didn't feel like she had any part of it. She voted against it, so a lot of her supporters also voted against it. Part of the 108 that voted against Obama, whose majority has crumbled, and if this were a parliamentary government, Obama would be out on his ear. He would have lost a vote of no confidence. The other things that Obama wants to do to you, remember that he already cut $500 billion from Medicare as part of Obamacare, and now he wants another $500 billion, or to be exact, he says $480 billion more. So that's $1 trillion gouged out of Medicare by Obama at the same time that he postures as the friend of the elderly and the savior of Medicare. This is a mockery. Now, here's the situation. Washington, the land of the austerity ghouls, the ghoul-haunted woodland of Weir, or ghoul-haunted woodland of Washington, as Edgar Allan Poe might have said. We had 6 months ago the Bowles-Simpson Cat Food Commission, which, of course, was an attempt by Erskine Bowles to relive his own past, right? He had tried to scheme with Gingrich to destroy Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security in 1998, but he was stopped by Mademoiselle Lewinsky. That scandal blocked the passage of any of this stuff. An important figure in this commission was Rivlin, the resident Democratic Party austerity ghoul and budget hawk. She had her own commission, the Rivlin-Domenici Commission, equally unacceptable in terms of genocidal austerity. We just talked about the Ryan plan. There was actually another Republican plan. The Republican Study Group plan was even more extreme than Ryan. I'd like to get my hands on that one because I think that may have gas ovens or something in it. I don't know what could go beyond Ryan. That was just defeated in the House by 119 to 136. It's a very strange vote. 172 voting present. Some very strange things going on that particular vote. The says that the Ryan budget will reduce the U.S. to the status of a third world economy. True enough. But you get there too, Obama, although you're the local train and the Republicans are the express. Then we have the Gang of Six. Watch out for these guys. Let's rebaptize them the Six Horsemen of the Apocalypse, because that's what they are. This is the one that may be politically most dangerous. The Gang of Six. Six Horsemen of the Apocalypse. We have Conrad, North Dakota Democrat, a quitter. He's quitting, so he figures he wants to make a bid for a nice job as a consultant in Wall Street. So he comes out as the great representative of responsibility and the adult conversation. Right? Let's all be grown-ups and let's support genocide. Adults support genocide in Washington D.C. We have Durbin, a slimy machine hack, a product of the Illinois Bipartisan Combine. one of Obama's early backers, Dick Durbin of Illinois. Then we have Mark Warner from across the river here in Virginia, a very colorless hack governor and now senator from Virginia, a mediocrity. Then we have Saxby Chambliss. Oh boy, Saxby Chambliss, in a Senate where scoundrels abound. He stands out as a scoundrel of a special type, because you remember that when he got elected for the first time in 2006, it must have been, he 2004, ran against Democratic Senator Max Cleland, who had left his two legs and his arm on the battlefield in Vietnam, but did not support Mad Dog Bush's Iraq War. And the effrontery and impudence of Chambliss was that he accused Cleland of lacking patriotism because he wouldn't support Bush. This is Cleland, who lost 3 limbs, paraplegic, and the other side was Saxby Chambliss, who had not gone to Vietnam at all, but nevertheless felt comfortable being a warmonger. There's one other Republican in here, and then there's Senator Mike Crapo. Crapo? I don't know. Maybe we should call this the Crapo Commission. The Crapo Commission and the 6 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. This is the most dangerous, because this is going to be considered the bipartisan one, and this is the one that Obama will orient to, because the only thing he's concerned about is triangulation. So this is going to be one of the points of his triangulation. Van Hollen, congressman from Maryland, has proposed you can call it the sort of center budget for the Democrats. This is shared sacrifice. The main things that stand out here is he wants to end the subsidy to big oil. He wants to curb corporate welfare to some extent. That's all right. And he wants to cut $660 billion out of the Pentagon. All right, but that's totally inadequate. We want the Wall Street sales tax, the answer to all of this, the indispensable ingredient, the 1% federal Wall Street sales tax, with 0.5% of that being paid to the states at the level of $4 quadrillion of turnover that we have established in derivative stocks, bonds, and other property titles and speculative instruments. That would be $40 trillion at the current level. $40 trillion of revenue, $20 trillion for the states, $20 trillion for the feds. Everything is solved. Generally speaking, it wouldn't quite be that high, of course, because it would tend to suppress speculation. But again, the main problem of the budget is the one that's never mentioned, that Wall Street pays no taxes. We just found out that I guess it was GE, once again, didn't pay any taxes. That's Wall Street. That's a hedge fund. That's what GE has become, GE Capital. There might be something to be expected here from the group around Kaptur, Sherman, DeFazio, Kucinich, Miller, McDermott in the House of Representatives. But why wait for them? You've got the program. Go to my website, the 5-point program, the emergency program, Stop the Depression. At the top of my website, outlined in red, it's been up there for several months, a comprehensive 5-point program to deal with this. Notice that this is not something focused on budgets and deficit. It is something that recognizes we are in a depression, as in world economic depression worse than the 1930s and spreading all the time. You must have a recovery program. You cannot expect to cut and gut your way out with tax increases and with budget cuts. These will suppress economic activity, and especially the budget cut side of it will make your deficits bigger. You will get yourself into a hole without an exit. The only way to address this is a recovery program, and that starts with the seizing of the central bank, 0% credit, build infrastructure, go for science drivers, and 0% or close to 0% credit for all productive activity. No longer the 0% credit for banks, but 0% credit for productive activity, and the bankers take their chances on the free market they claim to admire so much. So the answer to all of these austerity ghouls is my 5-point program. Print that out. It fits on one piece of paper. It's designed to be two sides of a sheet of paper. Get it, use it, organize with it. Back in a minute on World Crisis Radio.